Hey everybody, welcome back to DC Junction. Still figuring this whole thing out. We have a new episode of our new weekly show coming out
Hmm.
tomorrow. We literally just like an hour ago dropped our reaction to the new final Superman trailer, and amidst all of this, we missed some news or something got announced in the last couple of hours that we missed out on, Matt. Something that I immediately said, "Hey, Matt,
We got to talk about
we
this.
got to talk because you specifically because we've referenced this so many times in the last few weeks alone, and now apparently, why don't you turn the camera a little bit there, Matt?
Yeah, I was going to say.
Why don't you turn the camera a little bit there, Matt? The Mr. Miracles
Just
run
going to stand over here by it.
from Tom King. One of the first books we reviewed on this show that wasn't Batman is being adapted into an animated series from DC Studios with Tom King set as the showrunner. Are you kidding me? We
Yeah.
knew we were getting Gods and Monsters from James Gunn in chapter 1, and this has me thinking, is this in the DCU possibly? It does it, so that's anyway. So Warner Bros. Animation announced that they were developing this during a presentation at the Annecy International Animation Film Festival and Market. Tom King is set to serve as the showrunner as well as executive producer. The series is set to be based on King's award-winning 12-issue series and will follow the odyssey of Scott Free, aka Mr. Miracle, and his wife Big Barda. No network or streaming service has been announced. HBO Max would be the most natural conclusion and may still happen, but the company is, going through some shit right now. So
Yeah.
wouldn't be the first DC thing to go elsewhere. Looking at you, Batman Caped Crusader.
I would
Yeah,
say if it's DCU, like Creature Commandos,
yeah.
it'll be on whatever HBO Max HBO thing is specifically
It's going
DC.
back to HBO Max. Who
Yeah.
who knows?
If it's just a thing that they're doing like Cape Crusader, who knows where it'll land.
Yeah, it'll probably end up going elsewhere. You are the one that got me into this book.
Yes.
You're the one who's got a poster of it on your wall. How does this make you feel?
I'm excited. Like, again, this is that whole thing back when he first announced Gods and Monsters. I don't know if I'm the one or we both talked about it. It was like, yeah, we want to default to Wonder Woman and the Amazonians dealing with gods, but is it the new gods? Is it Darkseid? Is it, ever since New 52, Darkseid has kind of stepped up to be the villain of the Justice League of the DC universe. Like, he was more of kind of like they just fought each other. I mean, I know he dealt with Superman a lot. Like the new Superman cartoon really, or not the new one, the Superman cartoon from the 90s really kind of brought Darkseid into the fold as being like a Superman villain.
It made him that was the one that made him because like he was around in like the 60s cartoons. He would show up and there especially when you got into the more there was the one that was a bit more serious that came after Super Friends. You know the one I'm talking about where it had like Cyborg and Firestorm and it got
It's
more into the bigger DC
the
mythos at the
later,
time.
yeah, because it
Yeah.
was Challenge of the Super Friends at
Yeah.
that point.
And then it turns into some but anyway, those are the ones I remember where like I first got introduced to Darkseid.
Yeah.
And that I remember being like, oh, he's just kind of he was scary, but I didn't think much of him. But
Yeah.
like, yes, it was that 90s, early 2000s DC animated series with Tim Daly that like that made like Darkseid scary.
Yeah. Well, and I think too is like this Mr. Miracle series is a very easy way to origin in the new gods. You alter the beginning a little bit, but even in that original graphic novel, like there's a lot of backstory because I think at one point Darkseid's dead and then
Well,
he comes back to life later in the series. I think you could
I think so.
easily make little quick adjustments to cut out that, but also give enough origin of like this is who the new gods are. I mean, Mr. Miracle's origin itself is steeped in that lore.
Yeah.
So it's a
Like
really,
the whole intro of the book is like his origin is the origin of the New Gods.
yeah, it gives you all the information. So I think it would be a really cool story. Like, I love the story, obviously. But I think just that inherent storyline is a very easy way to go. This is who Darkseid is. This is who the New Gods are. This is what this is all about. And then from there, catapult Darkseid as into the villain, if that's what they're going to do, of the villain of this first phase of the DCU.
Yeah, especially as, we need to, James Gunn has said that they are very much in the business of right now. They are not necessarily looking to tell origin stories as much as just world build. There is a larger story of the DCU they're looking to build, but he said we're not ready to necessarily jump into that yet. Like, we still have some legwork to do. But part of that is figuring out who your villains, and I know we're trying to create some separation from the Snyderverse, but like the way Darkseid was executed in the Snyder cut of Justice League, as little as we got of it was like you're telling me we could have had that. We could have had that, and we're not. It's like, so that's a big
Yeah.
hang, like dangling carrot that the DC fans were kind of left with after the Snyder cut and the end of the Snyderverse.
Now, did you say that he put a picture up as well?
Yes, I'm gonna throw this up. We haven't thrown. There's a first image. I'm gonna throw this up on screen. I got all this info, by the way, from Batman-news.com, which where we got a lot of our stuff when we were doing We Are the Batman, and they cover a lot of DC stuff. So we will continue to use them as much as we can, as well as other sources. Yeah, take a look at this.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, how does that make you feel, buddy?
It sounds weird to say it this way. I like that they're making Big Barda that much bigger than him. I mean, that's kind of part of the thing.
Gotta kind of live up to the name of Big Barda. You know what I mean? Like,
well, because also they didn't lean really big into it in the JLU episodes they were in. Like, they were like, she was kind of bigger, but
yeah,
in the comic and stuff, like, she is definitely bigger than him. So I think I like that a lot. Yeah.
Yes.
So with the hardest part about casting when I did the casting on this is like, I don't know why, but I think Andrew Garfield is who I picked. And I was like, find a female who's taller than Andrew Garfield. You're going to have to do something.
Yeah, I know. And it's like, who do you cast to be Big Barda that isn't Gina Carano these days? Or not Gina, Gina Carano from formerly of Star Wars. So like, who do you get nowadays to but even she was stocky, but she wasn't tall.
Yeah.
So you almost have to, you'd have to start looking into like athletes, and which is where people start going.
Yeah. Or how much can you play with CGI size difference, a la Fellowship of the Ring?
Yeah. Or do you just cast Tom Cruise?
I mean, yeah, that too.
Or you just go for an older Mr. Miracle and just get Ian McShane because he's like that big.
I mean, there you go.
Having read the book, and more recently than you, obviously, but like I'm excited. This is like, again, this is like that more of like, this is DC stuff we haven't seen before, and it's showing respect to this by bringing in Tom King, the guy. It's like, hey, you took this story and won awards with this. Why would we let anyone else? Why would we let anyone else handle this? You know what I mean? Why would you, especially in a day and age where with Invincible, where the original comic creators are running
Robert Kirkman,
Robert, thank you. Same with like The Last of Us. Say what you will about the finale, like with that first season, like having that, like, so it lends itself to James Gunn putting up, and instead of shutting up, of we are keeping the comic book writers involved in our process, something which Marvel has come under a lot of fire for not doing recently. It makes me happy.
And the other thing for me, the flip side of this is that I like that as much as, we all want Batman and Wonder Woman and Superman, blah, blah, blah. Like, this is such a fringe character. Like, he was in an episode out of 40 episodes of the Justice League cartoon. He has not been featured very much in any other animation or
Was
live
he
action or
in
anything.
Brave and the Bold? I don't remember if he was or not.
I don't believe so.
Part
Because
of
I
me
don't
wa-
even know.
Part of me wants to say yes because that show got so out there by the end, but I don't know. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
He's a character that is definitely, it would be great to see. I've always like kind of had a soft spot in my heart for this guy. So when he got his own series, but yeah, I think it also just, like I said, it just goes to show, like, sometimes, look, did we know Guardians of the Galaxy? I hate to use it as an example, but it's a perfect one. Like, there is no 10, 15 years ago, if you said Guardians of the Galaxy is going to be one of the more viable properties that Marvel's going to have as films, I would be like, you are insane.
And then the guy that makes it's going to go take over all of DC Studios and save it from itself.
Yeah. So that's where, like, something like this, to the idea that we could live in a world where my son would be like, I want to dress up as Mr. Miracle for Halloween, is insane, but awesome at the same time.
Yes. This and to kind of put a kind of pin on this too, we're also living in a world where a lot of comic book properties, like it was a big thing in Thunderbolts and Captain America and a lot of other comic properties is mental health.
Yeah.
And this Tom King run of Mr. Miracle is nothing if not an exploration of just like PTSD, trauma response, a real serious need for therapy. If not for nothing, it is a massive ad for BetterHelp.com. Not for so. I'm excited. We have no other information as far as any kind of release date or anything, but the fact they've already, they're this far ahead that they're willing to make that James Gunn is willing to give them the okay to make an announcement about it at an anime that has me going, well then.
Yeah.
Cool.
Again, he said from the get, everything he announced in that first thing was the tip of the iceberg. There was other stuff happening. So I'm excited. This could be interesting. I'm down for it.
Me too. Let us know what you guys think down in the comments. Make sure you guys follow us on all the social medias at DC Junction. You can follow me on social media at Mr. Mike Shea.
You can follow me at the Hustle Man across all social media.
Subscribe to the channel so you know when we're dropping more of this stuff, and we will see you guys again next time here on DC Junction.
Bye-bye.